Ottawa is selling a shiny new Canada of Tomorrow dream, and it comes in the form of a high-speed train called the Alto Bullet Train, speeding at 300 kilometers per hour from Toronto to Quebec City. The promise is a 2-hour trip, 18 million riders, while saving the planet and providing thousands of jobs. But what they don't say is that your land can be seized in the process. Pristine farmland held in families for generations, wiped out. Abundant hunting grounds carved up. And that's for a project that history shows is very likely to fail, but cost billions in the process. So let's dig in.
Now that we have the authorities that we do, that's what we're going to do.
The Alto high-speed rail fiasco is shaping up to be like the disastrous one in California before it even breaks ground. California sold this rail dream in 2008. It was a $33 billion project supposed to be ready by 2020. But today, the cost sits at over $135 billion and counting, more than fourfold its original budget allocation, and there's been exactly 0 high-speed train operations. A mere 171 miles of track are barely under construction, and it will maybe be running by 2029, if they're lucky. Trump called it a train to nowhere. And closer to home, we can look no further than Toronto's Eglinton Crosstown LRT. It was sold as transformative, but is now a poster child for failure. The original budget was $4.6 billion and has ballooned to over $13 billion since. The promised 2020 opening is still very much not underway, dragging through delays, lawsuits, design flops, and a public-private partnership that kept siphoning tax dollars along the way. Small businesses have been destroyed after years of endless construction disruptions with zero accountability. If the Ontario government's private-public partnership can't build a crosstown light rail on time or on budget, how do we trust this monster across the province overseen by the feds who are continually drowning in scandal after scandal? This is exactly why I need you to head over to our brand new website, don'tgetrailroaded.ca. Sign our petition saying no to Alto and support our reporting on this topic. Because hindsight is 2020, but the real test of wisdom is learning from others' mistakes. Beyond California and Toronto's already happening disasters, we have an existing passenger rail service that's also failing. Let's look at them. Via Rail, cutting-edge rail service at one time, tanked to 30% on time in early 2025. CN slapped restrictions on their speed, so now they're tangled up in court. Our current tracks are grinding to a halt. Yet Ottawa is ready to blow roughly $90 billion on Alto, this brand new corridor slicing through Ontario's best farmland.
I've honestly, on Friday alone, I got 2 or 3 calls of people in tears. And that's with respect to the high-speed rail and the concern that it's causing in Eastern Ontario, and I assume as well in some of the rural areas of Quebec. They're really concerned out there, and I'm hoping we get some concrete answers as much as possible from you, Minister. So I'm just going to ask you some pretty concrete questions, and hopefully I'll get those answers. When will the final route be determined?
This year.
Thank you. When will expropriation begin, and when will property owners get notice of that?
The expropriation provisions, should they be adopted by Parliament, that land acquisition phase would begin almost immediately.
Students will be separated from their classrooms, workers that'll be separated from their offices, farmers separated from their fields, and patients, perhaps most troubling, separated from their hospitals. What guideline or restrictions are you putting on Alto in terms of how long between crossings?
We're obviously very well aware of the concerns, the kind that you're raising. I can't answer for every spot along the alignment of a 1,000+ kilometer linear project, but what I can say is that we will be very sensitive, and those who have those kinds of concerns or questions, I would direct them to the Alto consultation currently occurring so that their voices may be heard.
60 meters wide, 10-foot fences, bisecting family farms, blocking long established rural routes, trapping wildlife, and get this, no rural stations for those most affected. Just noise, expropriation, and lost livelihoods for city commuters to potentially save an hour.
In this, we have a proposal for a 150-foot wide right-of-way coming through with 8-foot fences on either side that's going to blast a train through at 300 kilometers an hour after expropriating homes, cottages, businesses in the ecologically sensitive Frontenac Arch biosphere, which is a UNESCO recognized site, as well as heritage sites including the Rideau Canal. And they're not even hosting consultations in our community. It's going to cost at least $90 billion, cost thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars for every family in my community, and they're not even holding meetings to discuss this. So this isn't responsible stewardship.
Public consultations have been sneakily handled, closing in just a few short weeks on March 29th, with many of those directly affected saying they're just hearing about it now. Couple this with Prime Minister Mark Carney's Bill C-15, which grants the feds sweeping powers to fast-track projects just like this one, override rules and expropriate land. It's a perfect setup for potential conflicts of interest, especially given Carney's ties to Brookfield and the ongoing scrutiny around private investments in public infrastructure like the Alto high-speed rail. Which brings me to the consortium in charge of this project, which includes Atkins Realis, rebranded from SNC-Lavalin a few years ago, a name that's basically synonymous with corruption scandals. They're set to pocket $3.9 billion right off the hop before a single track is laid to plan it. Don't be swindled by terms like progressive and innovative. This is a boondoggle in the making. California disaster, Canadian style, paving over generational farms and hunting land in the process. Farmers are already taking a stand and hitting the streets in protest. If you agree, show some solidarity at don'tgetrailroaded.ca. Sign the petition, share your comments, share this video, tag your MPP or your municipal members of government, and make noise before the bulldozers rule and government surveyors drive stakes into the ground. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. Stop this train before it leaves the station. Go to don'tgetrailroaded.ca right now.